Welcome to Dormiveglia, the space between waking and sleep, where science meets stillness. We are glad you are here. People have always known that sleep cleans something. Not literally. Not the way washing a surface clean is literal, but in the way that language sometimes points toward the truth before science arrives to confirm it. Across centuries and cultures, the language used to describe sleep has reached for cleansing metaphors almost instinctively. Sleep washes away the cares of the day. Sleep clears the head. A good night's rest leaves the mind fresh, rested, clear, the slate wiped. Ancient physicians wrote that the brain required a period of regular flushing, a process that occurred during sleep, to maintain its proper function. They had no mechanism to describe, no biochemistry to cite. They had only the consistent observation that people who slept adequately seemed to think more clearly, remember more reliably, and recover from illness more fully than those who did not. The inference they drew, that sleep was performing some kind of maintenance function on the brain, turned out to be correct. They simply did not know how. For a long time, the science did not know either. The brain, it was understood for most of the 20th century, did not have the kind of lymphatic drainage system that the rest of the body uses to clear waste products and deliver immune cells. The lymphatic system, the network of vessels that runs through every other organ, collecting cellular waste and transporting it for disposal, stops at the blood-brain barrier. The brain was thought to be, in this respect, a closed system, isolated, self-contained. Then, in the early part of this century, researchers made a discovery that genuinely surprised the scientific community. They found that the brain did have its own waste clearance system. Not the lymphatic vessels they had been looking for, but something parallel to them. A network that used a different architecture, a different mechanism, and that was, crucially, almost entirely dependent on sleep to function. The discovery was not incremental. It was a revelation. And it changed the way the science thinks about why sleep is not merely useful, but necessary. Not just for the mind's function, but for its long-term health. Here is what happens inside your brain while you sleep. During waking hours, your brain is running a remarkable operation. Every thought, every movement, every sensory perception, every decision requires cellular activity. That activity generates byproducts, metabolic waste products, that accumulate in the spaces between brain cells as the day progresses. This is normal. It is the cost of being awake and functional. But those waste products cannot be allowed to accumulate indefinitely, any more than a city can allow its waste collection to stop indefinitely. During waking, the brain cells are pressed close together, leaving very little space between them. The fluid that circulates around and between brain cells, a clear, watery fluid that cushions the brain within the skull, flows slowly. And the waste products of the day's activity are cleared only partially and gradually. During sleep, something changes. The brain cells appear to shrink slightly, creating significantly more space between them. The fluid that had been circulating slowly now moves through the brain with greater speed and volume, flowing through this expanded space like water through a suddenly widened channel. As it moves, it carries the accumulated waste products of the day's activity along with it, sweeping them out through the pathways that drain from the brain into the body's broader waste disposal systems. This waste clearance system, which researchers named the glymphatic system from the cells that support it, operates at its highest capacity during the deepest stages of sleep. During the stages that come earliest in the night, when the brain's waves are slowest and the body is most physically still, the flow appears to be greatest. The fluid moves through the expanded spaces. The waste moves with it. And by morning, the brain has been cleared of the metabolic products that had been building since you woke. Among the waste products cleared during sleep is a protein that, when it accumulates over many years, has been associated with the development of certain kinds of cognitive decline. This protein does not disappear overnight, but each night of adequate sleep removes some of it. Each night of insufficient sleep leaves a little more behind. The brain's long-term health is partly a function of this nightly maintenance, and nightly maintenance depends entirely on sufficient, regular sleep. This is not a metaphor. The brain is literally cleaner in the morning than it was when you went to sleep. The ancient intuition was right. Sleep washes something. We simply did not know until very recently what. Here is something worth knowing about the position in which you sleep. Research examining the lymphatic system found that the position of the body during sleep appears to affect how efficiently the system operates. Specifically, sleeping on the side rather than on the back or the stomach seems to be associated with more efficient lymphatic flow, particularly in the periods of deep sleep when the clearance is most active. The proposed mechanism is that the lateral position, lying on your left or right side, allows the fluid to move through the expanded spaces between brain cells more freely than it does when you are lying flat on your back. This finding is preliminary. Sleep position research is difficult to conduct with precision, and the effect is likely modest compared to the much larger impact of sleep duration and depth. But if you are someone who sleeps in multiple positions through the night, you might notice what you default to when you wake rested, and consider whether it is worth returning there intentionally. Many people find they wake naturally on their side. If this is you, it may simply be that the body has already worked this out. The practical suggestion is gentle. If you are comfortable sleeping on your side, there is a reasonable case for favoring this position. If you have physical reasons that make side sleeping difficult, shoulder discomfort, lower back issues, then the priority is always the position that allows you to sleep most deeply and stay asleep longest. Duration and depth of sleep are the primary drivers. Position is secondary. Here is the second tool, and it is the simplest, most important, and most consistently ignored finding in all of sleep science. The lymphatic system requires time. It cannot complete its clearance work in 5 hours. It cannot even complete it reliably in 6. The research on sleep duration is consistent across decades and across populations. The range within which most adults achieve adequate rest, the range within which the brain can complete its maintenance functions, is 7 to 9 hours. Not 7 hours as a consolation prize for failing to sleep for 9. 7 hours as a genuine lower bound for adults who are functioning well. The reason this matters for the lymphatic system specifically is that the deep stages of sleep, where lymphatic flow is highest, are not evenly distributed through the night. They are concentrated in the first half, as we have discussed in an earlier episode. But the total volume of deep sleep you achieve across a night depends on the total length of the night. A night of 6 hours simply does not provide enough time for the deep stages to complete their full contribution, even if those stages are proportionally present. The practical consequence is that sleep debt, the accumulated shortfall of sleep across days and weeks, has a neurological cost that is not merely about tiredness. It is about what the brain has not been able to clear. Not metaphorically, literally. The waste products that were not removed tonight must wait until tomorrow night, when the system will again have incomplete time to address both the accumulation from today and the backlog from before. The tool is not a technique. It is a commitment. Give yourself the time, not occasionally, regularly. The brain's maintenance systems operate on a nightly schedule, and they need the full window to do the work. Thank you for watching. If you found stillness here, there is more waiting. Subscribe, and we will meet again at the threshold.